What's going on, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing a bit of a bonus video today. As you guys know, we just wrapped up the Gears of War review series. I thank you guys so much for tuning into those reviews. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers here on the channel, so guys, keep sharing the videos and showing your love and your comments, and I love reading your guys' comments. But today we're doing a Gears of War ranking video. Now that I've played every game, or at least every mainline game in the franchise, I feel like I can kind of give my opinion on which games I like more than others. So with that being said, let's jump into the list. And by the way, guys, I have not played Tactics or Gears Pop, so don't expect to see those two games on the list. But with that being said, let's jump into it. Alright, for my number 6 pick, we got Gears of War Judgment. So Gears of War Judgment, I played this right after I finished Gears 3, and I didn't really bother to do a separate review for it because honestly, I just didn't have much to say. Now, gameplay-wise, there's nothing fundamentally wrong with Gears Judgment. I think it's a fine game on its own. But after playing through the original trilogy and going straight to this game, I just wasn't left with a huge impression. So that's why you guys never saw a separate Gears Judgment review, but I did touch on it on my Gears 4 review. Again, it's more Gears of War. If you played the original trilogy and you went to Judgment, they didn't really do anything that interesting to me. Now, the gameplay in itself was fine. I did feel like it was faster paced than Gears 1, 2, and 3. But again, I just don't really have a lot to say about this game. It's by no means a terrible game. So if you're curious about Gears Judgment, I definitely recommend you play it. But if you're coming off of the original trilogy and you go to this, it is a little underwhelming. So that's why I'm going to put Gears Judgment at the bottom of the list. I just didn't have a lot to say about it, man. So if you have a different opinion, let me know. So for my number 5 pick, I'm going to go with Gears of War 4. Now, Gears of War 4 was the first game to be released on the Xbox One, so this game was supposed to really show off the capabilities of the Xbox One, and that it did do. There's a lot of beautiful scenes in this game. There is a lot of cool effects that go on. The first thing that kind of comes to mind are the motorbike sections where you're riding on a bike and you're chasing like this plane, and also the fight scene, or I should say the shootout, at Marcus's estate. That scene, just seeing the helicopter like destroy the estate as you progress through the battle, was really cool. So yeah, this game is a beautiful game. It has a lot of cool effects. The game looks good. The only thing about this game is the campaign to me was, I don't want to say bland, because that's not the right word to use, because there was a lot of things that went on. I just did not care for the focus on the DBs so early on, and we didn't really get to fight anything that was reminiscent of the Locust until damn near halfway through the game. So, fighting robots and androids, it just was not nearly as fun as fighting the Locust. And also the story. I mean, the story was okay, but I just felt like the game and the campaign itself had a lot of dry spots. There was just not a lot going on there. So Gears 4 is number 5. By no means is the game bad, because I did have a lot of fun with the multiplayer, so that is a redeeming factor of Gears 4 for me. But as far as comparing it to the original trilogy, it just didn't hit anywhere close to me outside the aesthetic improvements. So I'm gonna rank Gears 4 in the number 5 spot. Alright, coming in the number 4 spot, I'm going to go ahead and put the original Gears of War. Now, when I say the original, I'm mainly referring to Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which can be found on the Xbox One and Game Pass. Usually if somebody says they want to get into Gears of War and they want to play the first game, I'm typically going to point them in the direction of the Ultimate Edition. It just looks better, has, refinements and just quality of life updates. I feel like it's the definitive way to experience the first game. Gears of War is no doubt, it's a classic. I don't really have a lot to say. You guys, if you own an Xbox, you've played Gears of War. I don't have a lot to say. Gears of War, I remember playing this when it first came out and just having a blast and just going through co-op with one of my friends, and we just being blown away that a game of this caliber is on the Xbox 360. Because I was more of a PlayStation Nintendo guy, but Gears of War definitely sold me on the Xbox, and to this day, I love Gears of War. And I would go ahead and say Gears of War 1 is a classic. So, this is the introduction to Marcus, Baird. You guys know where Gears of War. You already know. If you played Gears of War 1, you know this game is a classic. And I don't think I can say anything that you guys don't already know. So, number 4 spot, Gears of War 1. Now, coming in at the number 3 spot, I'm going to go ahead and put Gears of War 3. Now, Gears of War 3, in my opinion, was the definitive conclusion to the Gears series. You know, a lot of people think that the Gears series should have stopped at 3, and I kind of agree with them. I thought 3 ended on a very high note, but 3 has some very memorable moments. Again, it refines on the formula that Gears 1 and Gears 2 established. It was a much grander adventure, and I like the fact that Gears 3 had some color in it as well. It wasn't as like black and gray and brown as the previous 2 games were, so they did lighten up the game a bit, and I absolutely love the showdown with the Queen going up that tower. That was fantastic. But Gears 3, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the campaign. There was a lot of great moments here, a lot of sad moments. It just felt like the perfect conclusion to the Gears saga. So yeah, let me know what you think about Gears 3 in the comments, but I think ranking it at number 3 is fair. You know, it's not my favorite Gears game, but it's definitely a game worth, you know, putting in the top 3. So number 3, Gears 3. All right, coming in at the number 2 spot, and I know some of you guys may disagree with this, but that's okay. That is why this is my opinion. I'm going to go ahead and put Gears 5. Now, I've said this in the Gears 5 review. From a gameplay perspective, Gears 5 is my absolute favorite Gears game. Number 1 is super fast paced, so I feel like the battles are, you know, it kind of reminds me of Gears of War Judgment, how fast the battles are. But I also love what you can do with Jack in this game. You know, being able to use your cloak to run down and stab enemies, or being able to use stealth mechanics on the corrupted DBs, and it's just so much that I love about Gears 5. And even from the exploration standpoint, it's not nearly as linear as other Gears games. You have a big open area that you can explore and do like little side quests here and there. Now, it's not like a true open world experience because, you know, a lot of the open space is kind of bland. But for the most part, I'm glad that they attempted this with this game. And hopefully in Gears 6, we see them kind of expand upon the open world concept. But from a gameplay perspective, I absolutely love Gears 5. And I was actually invested in Kate's story. I know watching some reviews of Gears 5, some people did not like the focus on Kate and the narrative that they had with her, but I actually thought it was pretty interesting, and I really want to see what they expand upon on as far as her character arc in Gears 6. Now, the multiplayer, just like Gears 4, I had a lot of fun with it. With the other Gears games, I really did not get a chance to, you know, play the multiplayer because, you know, most people are on the latest installment. But Gears 5, I had a lot of fun with the multiplayer, had a lot of fun with the campaign, and I actually like the story here. So Gears 5 is, you know, I definitely put in my top 2. So yeah. For my number 1 slot, if you guys have not guessed, Gears of War 2. Now, when I was looking at other people's ranking videos and just looking on Reddit to see where people, you know, hold Gears of War 2, a lot of people consider this game to be the best in the franchise, and I absolutely agree. You know, when it came to the campaign, it almost seemed like it was a non-stop ride. I mean, everything from the action to the scope, the boss fights, the emotional pull, like all of that was there. And I just love seeing, you know, a deeper look into the Locusts. The fact that we went into the Locusts' home and saw what they were doing with people that they kidnapped, I thought that was fantastic. This is a very dark game, very grim game. I mean, we got the scene with Dom's wife and the scene with Ty. I mean, there was so much that went on in Gears 2. This is easily my favorite campaign out of all the Gears games. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to experience the multiplayer, but I can only imagine that was very fun as well. So, but as far as the story, which I'm pretty much basing this list on, is the campaigns, not so much the multiplayer. Gears 2 blew me away. You know, just when you think that things can't get better than Gears 1, Gears 2 came in and just blew everything out of the water. So my number 1 spot goes to Gears of War 2. Again, guys, I want to thank each and every one of you for taking some time out and watching my content. I know you can be anywhere on YouTube, but you decided to spend some time with me, and I greatly appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed this video, drop a comment down below and let me know what your top Gears games are. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content, man. I really appreciate reading your guys' comments and seeing you guys interact and all that fun stuff. So with that being said, guys, I am out for the night, and I'll see you next time. Peace.